or ride or die.
So guys, we're starting today's video off with a super underrated car, in my opinion. I'm going to say underrated in this way too many times, sorry in the instance there, but we are out with a first gen MPS, one of the most insane front wheel drive hot hatches from this generation, in my humble opinion, and still so underrated. But we're going to start today's video by looking round, because I feel like this looks the part. This one, especially with the black RX-8 wheels on it as well. Pretty cool. A little OEM feature there on this MPS. But I'm going to show you guys round it. There's a few little quirky bits that I like about these, starting off with the way they look. And I actually asked the owner, why did you go for an MPS? Because again, underrated in my opinion. He said he loved the way they look. They look subtle enough to go under the radar, but still aggressive enough that you know full well what you're looking at when you know what you're looking at, if that makes any sense. So MPS, they really changed very minor things in this generation. Front bumper, this one has an aero kit on it, so it has the spoiler and stuff at the back, but pretty subtle mods. Drive 304 horsepower in this one, J-tuned MPS. What does it feel like? Now I think what you're buying into is something that doesn't necessarily feel like other cars. I did look at a review earlier in the day actually, and someone was saying that it doesn't feel like other cars and it feels a bit, not fat, but just out of its element, I think they were saying. Yes, I agree with it in a sense. It is from a generation, this generation, where a lot of automakers were making cars with fast engines, not really doing anything else. Yes, upgrading brakes, various other things, but performance cars these days have everything else performance with them. This generation, I think, like 260 odd horsepower from the factory, this one, you know, 300 horsepower. You do feel it. You really do feel it. And I don't think that's a bad thing. I think it's a surprise to the senses in a sense, because you don't think it's going to be as fast as it is. 300 horsepower in some cars feels like a lot, some, you know, don't. This feels like it's a lot of power coming through the front wheels of this car. 2.3 litre turbocharged engine. This actually has a new KO4 turbo, because of course, if you're watching this and you're understanding MPSs, you'll know full well that turbos like to, you know, go sometimes. And this one's actually no exception. It's had a turbocharger recently after the blades decided to not be blades anymore. But this one, as a modified one, it's a little bit harder for me to relay to you guys what it feels like as a factory car, because this is a modified one. But it's got the BC Racing coilovers on it with adjustable top mounts, all properly set up. It drives insane, and considering this is on the hardest setting, I don't think it's too hard. To be fair, I am down a very nice road, so we will take that into consideration. The torque is absolutely phenomenal though. You know, fourth gear then, even at 2,500–3,000 RPM, it is still just wanting to surge down the road. That's really nice though, because sometimes a lot of cars just spin their wheels and, you know, make a big pantomime about it. This one's actually doing a really good job, even though it's a little bit, I'm not gonna say it's greasy, it's still doing a good job of actually putting that power to the ground. It's not necessarily wasted. Yeah, it sounds good with a little blow off. I know a lot of people don't like blow offs, they'd rather a chatter or, you know, whatever you want to put on your car. This one seems to have reacted really well to the blow off. AirTech intercooler on the front of this one as well, keeping it temperature just about right. And I feel like, although we're talking about BC Racing coilovers being hard and stuff, because these are on the hardest setting you can get them on, the seats are taking all of the brunt of the harshness of the road. Because again, I've said this, I think, in previous videos of these cars. The seats are insanely nice. They're so comfortable. They're supportive. They're just right. Grinding it right round. Yeah, 4th gear is lovely. When you're right up, I mean, just then, maybe it's the mapping on this one, but you know, 4,000 RPM in 4th, really got going then. Really felt like it wanted to just put the power down and send itself down the road. Nice surge of just torque and pretty much everything from the engine there. I feel like what you're actually buying here, and I'm saying underrated again, what you're buying is something that not a lot of people are looking to buy. I always say in these, like, people I don't think are looking to buy one of these. They maybe stumble across it, or you know, they find out they are available when they go and buy one, because they charge a bit more of a premium. A nice one of these is still 5, 6, 7 grand for a 1st gen MPS like this one. And I feel like you have to then go and find a nice one. This one is, you know, a pretty good example, if I'm honest. 117,000 miles, about right for a 58 plate car, in my opinion. It's been kept up, it's got the right things on it. Feel like it has a clutch in it, because it feels, when it changes gear, a lot stiffer than I remember a standard clutch being. But I do remember from performance ones, you might want to put a clutch in it just to hold that power down, because these again can run big power if they want to. And I'm going to go back to, you know, at the end of this video to talk about the underrated side. And I've done it in the past and spoke about underrated MPSs, and I still see it now. These still command quite a bit of money. They're not cheap, but what you're getting is something that not a lot of people have, and I appreciate the MPS for that. Again, not a lot of people are desiring to have an MPS. They'll go and buy an ST, a GTI, or you know, something similar in this era of hot hatch. It's a bit of a shame, really, because I want to see these more often. I think they're the coolest looking thing with the aero kit on them. The inside is such a nice place to be. The dash is, you know, there's a small screen, don't get me wrong, but it's got every button under the sun you could ever want, and it's super comfy. There's mad comfort in these front seats. The back seats got loads of room and a massive boot on these. I just think they're a winner, and I appreciate that. What I'm going to get onto now, wind out 3rd gear. Yeah, nice. I appreciate that there is other side to MPS ownership. You've got to watch for rust. Rust is a thing on these, yes, we know it. The arches on this one have gone, and I'm pointing them out now. You need to watch out for that. The underside of this is slightly rusty. Again, please watch out for that. Get it inspected. If you're buying one of these, get a jack under it. Go, like, you know, if the owner of this car is wanting to sell it, he won't mind you putting a jack under it and having a look. Just make sure you're buying a good one. Engines, gearboxes, they all go under serious load, serious power, because you can throw power through these. You know, I think 304 this one is running is, you know, optimal for a relatively standard car, I feel. But if you're after more power, forging, you know, getting a clutch, various other things is going to be needed. But I don't think in this sense, this one, I don't think it's bad. I think it's the right way to go around MPS ownership, not being too crazy on it, not wanting the world, you know, and the earth from it, and just enjoying a 300 horsepower front wheel drive manual hatch. I think it's the right way to go with one of these. And again, I love these. You can't talk me out of them. I think they're so cool. I remember them from days gone by when I used to see them around and think, oh, that's such a cool car, because they sort of blended in. You know, you didn't notice the spoiler and stuff from the front end. You never noticed it was an MPS. And then they come past making all some whooshy noises and, you know, making turbo noise out the back of it. I was just about it, and I still am today. And yeah, super underrated. I'm going to say it again. I know people in the comments will be like, oh, I say underrated about 14 times in this video, and you said underrated in the last one, but I'm still bringing it to the top of conversation that these are underrated, and you should go and buy one and enjoy it, because it is a super cool car, this. I'm about it. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching today's video. If you have a car that you want me to shoot for the channel, please let me know. Shoot me a DM on Instagram. And as ever, guys, thank you so much for watching. We'll see you on the next one.